Hello everyone, my name is Anu. Today we'll read the next lesson of class 4 English, Alice in Wonderland. Students, this was a novel, Alice in Wonderland, written by Lewis Carroll, and this chapter, which is in your book Marigold, class 4 English, a very small portion of that novel is taken. Okay, so it is named Alice in Wonderland. This is about a girl, Alice, who reaches a wonderland, a different place, which is very beautiful. And let's see how she manages to go there. Okay, now let's read the chapter and find out about how Alice reaches in the Wonderland. Okay, let's begin. So students, this is the story, Alice in Wonderland. One day, Alice was lying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story. Okay, so what happened? You can imagine the scene that Alice was a girl and who was lying under a tree. She was lying under a tree and her sister was reading a story to her. She was listening a story. Okay. Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. Now, scamper means to move in a hurry. Suddenly, all of a sudden, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. A white rabbit was running from there. She saw him. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. That rabbit has pink eyes. His eyes were pink and he was wearing a blue color coat. Okay. So he took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." Now here students, Alice was telling, Alice is saying that she saw a white color rabbit and that rabbit had pink eyes and he was wearing a blue color coat under which a red color waistcoat was there. And he took out a watch, a pocket watch from his pocket. And he saw the time and what did he say? He said, "Oh dear, I'll be too late." That he's getting late. Okay, that means that rabbit was in hurry. He wanted to reach somewhere and he was getting late. She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk. It wore a red waistcoat and it carried a watch. Now Alice, she started thinking that this rabbit is not a normal rabbit because there is something different about him. Okay, because this rabbit can talk. What do you think, students? Do rabbits talk? No, they don't. But this rabbit was talking and it was wearing a red waistcoat. And it was carrying a watch. So this rabbit was different. She started thinking about it. Now Alice wondered, a talking rabbit? A rabbit who wears a waistcoat? Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. Now Alice was thinking that this is a talking rabbit and he wears a waistcoat. Now she was burning with curiosity means she was very eager to know that who is this rabbit and where is he going and why this rabbit is so different from others, right? So she started following him. Then what happens? The rabbit started running and Alice followed the rabbit. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Alice jumped into the rabbit hole too. The rabbit went down and down and down and down into the rabbit hole. Now that rabbit whom Alice was following, he started running. Okay, because he wanted to reach somewhere very quickly. Right? So he started running and Alice was also running behind him because she was following the rabbit. Then suddenly what happens? That rabbit jumped into a rabbit hole. As you know, students, that rabbit lives in burrows, right? Rabbit live in burrows. Rabbits, they live in holes, underground holes, which we call burrows, right? And some of you call bureaus also. There was a big hole in the ground, and what did that rabbit do? He jumped into the ground. And Alice also jumped into the ground, into the hole after him, because she was following him. Then the rabbit went down and down and down and down into the rabbit hole. And that rabbit hole, that burrow was so deep that the rabbit was going down and down, and it was going deep in the earth. Right? Alice said aloud, "Where am I? How many miles down have I fallen? I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth." She wondered, "Will I slip through the earth to the other side?" Now Alice was also falling behind that rabbit into the hole. So what happens? She was thinking and she shouted because she was very surprised and she was scared also. And she wondered, she said, "Where am I? Where am I? And I'm falling so down that maybe I'm going to reach to the center of the earth. And for God's sake, maybe I am, slipping to the other side of earth." Because these are the thoughts that are coming in her mind, because she was slipping in the hole so down, so deeply. Okay. And so she was thinking that maybe she'll reach to the center of the earth very soon, or to the other side of earth, there might be some place she is slipping inside, right? So, thump, Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. She looked around quickly and suddenly saw the white rabbit again. Now what happens? That Alice landed, now with the sound of thump, she landed on a pile of dry leaves. Okay, so there was a pile of dry leaves. Okay, so what she did, she fell on that pile of dry leaves. She looked around herself very quickly, and suddenly she saw that white rabbit there, and it disappeared, saying, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting." Now that rabbit, she saw, it said, "Oh, I'm getting so late." He said, he was in a very hurry, and he said that I'm getting very late. "Oh my God, I'm getting very late," he said. And then he disappeared. He just vanished. He went somewhere. She couldn't find him. Then Alice stood up and saw a small door about 15 inches high. Now Alice stood up. She was fallen on that piles of dry leaves. No, she stood up, and so what did she see? She saw a small door. It was of only 15 inches high. Okay, it was too small for her to go through. Or this door was very small. She could not go through it. She could not go to the other side of the door. She just looked here and there. She saw a glass table with a golden key on it. And what did she see? She saw a glass table was there, and a golden key was lying on the table. Right? Then she tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her delight, it fitted. And she saw that golden key. She picked that golden key and she tried to open the door, open the lock on the door, the small door. And she was very happy that it fitted, that it was the key of that lock only. She was very happy that she is able to open the door now. Alice opened the door and looked into the loveliest garden she had ever seen. And then she opened the door, and what did she see? She saw what? That there was a very beautiful and pretty garden. It was full of prettiest flower beds. Okay, the loveliest flower beds were there. And there were cool fountains also. There were very beautiful and cool fountains were there, and they were everywhere. Flowers, beautiful and bright flowers were there. Okay, now how she longed to be among those bed of bright flowers and those cool fountains. And she was wishing, she longed means she wished that I just want to go there. I just want to be there inside that pretty garden, inside that garden and near the flower beds and cool fountains which were there in the garden. She wanted to go there, that means. But she could not even get her head through the doorway. But as you know, I told you students that door was only 15 inches high. Okay, and she could not take out her head even. Okay, so she was not able to go to the other side. She could only see. She could only see the beautiful garden and the flowers and the fountains there. She could only watch the beauty. She was not able to go there. Okay, as you can see in the picture, she could only see the beautiful garden. Oh, how I wish I could become smaller, she exclaimed loudly. Now she exclaimed means students, cry out suddenly in surprise. So she shouted loudly that, oh, I want to become smaller so that I could go to the other side of the door. So she said that I want to become a smaller creature. Right? So students, and this is adapted from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Okay, so this was a novel written by Lewis Carroll. And as you saw, that this was the girl Alice who went or who reached to the Wonderland, a very beautiful garden place which was very unique and very beautiful. Now this was the story, students. Let's see the new words and their meanings. First word we have is scamper. As we have already talked about, scamper means to move in a hurry. We can also make sentences with it. The cats scamper after seeing the mouse. And people scamper while catching their train. Right? Then hurried. Hurried means to rush. Example, we can say, my grandparents hurried to the hospital. I ate a hurried breakfast. Then popped. Popped means to go somewhere without any notice. And examples are, she popped in to see if she can help. My teacher popped in the class. Disappeared. Disappeared means vanish. Like, the tiger disappeared into the trees, or the tension had completely disappeared. Okay, next word is whiskers. Whiskers are long hair on the face of animals. Okay, those are called whiskers. The whiskers of cats are very attractive, and my cat has brown whiskers. Right, students? Now let's see the question answers. While listening to the story, what did Alice see? Okay, what did Alice see? While listening to the story, Alice saw a white rabbit running hurriedly. Then, what was different about the rabbit that Alice saw? The rabbit that Alice saw was different as it could talk and also wore a red waistcoat and carried a watch. Right? Next, where did the rabbit go? So where did the rabbit go? The rabbit went into the rabbit hole. How did Alice reach Wonderland? How did she reach there? So Alice jumped into the rabbit hole, following the rabbit, and reached the Wonderland. Next, what strange things did Alice see? Alice saw beautiful beds of bright flowers and cool fountains. Right? Describe in your own words the garden that Alice saw. So Alice saw the most beautiful garden from the doorway. It was filled with different colors of beautiful flowers There was also a cool fountain inside, which sprinkled fresh and cool water. Right, students? So now let's see the next exercise. Tick the correct answer. Some answers, these are the MCQs. Some choices are given. You have to tick the correct one. The rabbit had white eyes, big eyes, or pink eyes. So he had pink eyes. Yes. Who was burning with curiosity? Alice, the rabbit, or the children? Alice. Who fell down and down? The rabbit. Who said, "Oh my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting"? It is the rabbit who said this. The garden Alice saw was lovely. Now let's see the next. Describe some of the sounds you hear at night. So these are the questions of Let's Talk. As you know, I have already told you that these answers may be different. You can give your own answers. But here, describe some of the sounds you hear at night. So, what are the sounds that you hear at night? Barking of street dogs, and sounds may be made by the watchman we can hear at night. And some more things you can add, like sounds of insects at night. We can also hear that. Imagine you are Alice and your partner is a rabbit. What would you do? I would request the rabbit to become my friend and take me to the Wonderland. Right? You can also write what you will do. What do you think Alice saw in the garden? So Alice saw beds of bright flowers. She saw cool fountains, beautiful birds, and fruit trees. How could Alice have got into the garden? Alice could have got into the garden by becoming smaller, right? If she would have been small, she could have got into the garden. Now find one word from the story that means to walk fast means hurried, happy means delight, at once means quickly, to be inquisitive means curious, to think means wonder, to be seen nowhere, disappeared, and move fast means slip or scamper. Right? Now let's see the next exercise. Give another word for the ones given below with similar meaning and make sentences. Make sentences with each of the opposites of these describing words and make sentences with them too. Right? Yeah, there what you have to do, the words are given and first you have to write the similar word to that word and make a sentence with it. And then you have to write the opposite of that word and then make a sentence with it. Like the first word we have lovely. So the similar word with lovely is beautiful. And we can make sentence like I have a beautiful puppet. Talking means chatting. My brother was chatting with his friends. Listening means hearing. So I can hear you very well. See means look. The teacher said to the students to look at the board. Center means core. So we should be serious to our core problems. Okay, now we have to make the sentences with the opposite words. Now opposite of lovely is ugly. He made an ugly remark. Talking means opposite means quiet. Quiet means he is quiet by nature. Listening, opposite is speaking. He is speaking English fluently. See, opposite of see is ignore. Don't ignore your elders' advice. And opposite of center is side. The beggar was sitting by the side of the road. Clear? Okay, now next. Imagine you are going on a journey to the center of the earth. What do you think you will see? And what would you feel? Well, I would see layers of different types of soil. I would also see layers of groundwater. And I may also find solid metals and liquid magma. And how would you feel? I would feel excited. Now, Alice follows the strange rabbit because she wants to know a number of things. Rearrange the words to make the questions that Alice has in her mind and put a question mark. You know, their questions, some questions are jumbled. What you have to do, you have to unjumble them. Like, talk rabbit, a how can. So we can unjumble it like, how can a rabbit talk? Going, he is where. So we can make a question like, where is he going? Read, he can time the. So we have to make question, remember, right? So can he read the time? Hurry is in a why he. So why is he in a hurry? Right, students? So like this, you can make questions from these jumbled sentences. Now, that's it, students. Thanks for watching the video and stay tuned for me for the next video. And till then, take care and enjoy learning. And do not forget to subscribe and like my channel. Thank you.